is the first one.
How about that? Didn't know.
Now look what's coming up on Eyewitness News at 6.
All right, Eyewitness News at 6 starts right now. I'm Cindy Sexton.
And I'm Greg Glover in for David Carroll. We'll be right back with Eyewitness News at 6.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Greg Glover in for David Carroll.
And I'm Cindy Sexton. We now know the name of the Bradley County man who was severely beaten outside of his home and business. Arthur Hout is recovering from his injuries tonight. They were so bad, EMAs took him to Chattanooga for treatment.
It happened on Spring Place Road in Bradley County. The sheriff's office is still looking for the people who did this crime. Channel 3's Tim Pham spoke to Hout's wife, who's looking for answers.
Was outside watering his nursery when the attack happened. His wife says his injuries were so severe she could barely recognize her husband. Crime tape lines each corner of this nursery business in Cleveland as deputies investigate a brutal attack over the weekend.
It was just pouring blood everywhere, and I didn't know what to do. I just started having panic attacks.
Janet, the victim's wife, did not want to be on camera. Her husband was attacked right outside of their home.
And deputies, when they responded, were able to determine that he had been severely beaten with an object.
Janet believes the suspects were trying to rob the couple.
To take my husband out and steal my medication.
The sheriff's office hasn't confirmed those details. They're still working on a timeline of events. Janet says her husband has at least a dozen wounds on his head and several broken bones.
He asked me to come in and give my kiss goodbye, and she said, "Don't come in." She said, "He's got broken ribs. We need to go right now."
The sheriff's office says the victim's injuries are severe but not life-threatening. Anyone with information should call authorities. Reporting in Bradley County, Tim Pham, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
The judge has agreed to reduce the bond for the driver in the Woodmore bus crash. Jonathan Walker has been in solitary confinement since the November bus crash that killed 6 young students. He faces 34 counts in connection with the crash on Talley Road. Walker would be on supervised release. Judge Don Poole noted in the court documents that Walker was never in trouble before the crash, worked 2 jobs, and had strong family ties. His bond was lowered from $107,000 to $50,000. He would not be allowed to drive a vehicle if released. He remains in jail at this hour. His next court appearance is October 3rd.
Fire investigators are still trying to figure out what started the house fire that killed a Lookout Valley man. This happened yesterday around 3 o'clock on Judy's Lane. Officials say it was an off-duty firefighter along with 3 neighbors who saw smoke and flames and jumped in to help. Without oxygen or safety equipment, Captain Steve Everett ran inside the home that was engulfed in flames. He then found a woman on the ground. He pulled her to safety. Captain Everett, who has 20 years experience, told Channel 3 that he was just in the right place at the right time.
A Hickson business owner is concerned, and we will tell you about his story when we come back.
Well, the time now 6:06. Take a look at what we're tracking here across the Atlantic. We've got 3 disturbances. I want to show you the newest information that we do have. We still have Jose, which is a Cat 1, 75-mile-per-hour max sustained winds. The actual low here is still about 500 miles east-southeast of Nantucket. It's not going to be impacting the Delmarva Peninsula or the eastern seaboard, but we do have Maria we need to keep an eye on, which could possibly impact the U.S. by possibly Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of next week. So on radar, you can see it's spinning here. It's across the Dominica now, just a couple miles east-southeast of the Dominica. It is now a Cat 4, and removing that box there, it's going to be tracking towards Puerto Rico, Dominican, and eventually into Cuba. And I'm seeing anywhere from 12 to 20 inches of rainfall with Maria. And it should, the newest national hurricane track shows it weakening to a Cat 3, well, kind of weakening. Still a Cat 3 is a major hurricane. By the time it's going to be off the coast of the Carolinas, possibly Sunday and Monday. So a lot of new information, of course, will be coming in over the next few days. So you can get the WRCB weather app in the meantime to track it with us. And we still have Tropical Depression Lee, which has max sustained winds of 35 miles an hour. Not expected to impact the U.S. or any islands out there. That should be fizzling out over the next few days. All right, locally then, here's our temperatures right now. It's 82 out of Athens, still 87 out of Chattanooga. We've just dipped down a degree here over the past 30 minutes. We'll continue to have light winds tonight under a mostly clear sky, and then you can see temperatures are still rather warm tonight. We're still at 80 degrees at 8 p.m. and we'll drop to the 70s still through about 1 a.m. and many of us are going to be in the low 60s tomorrow morning, but once again, Blue Ridge, Murphy, you should be quite cool in the 50s tomorrow. So those east of I-75, you'll be able to kind of keep your windows open tonight. However, just a reminder, it's still going to be rather muggy. Forecast lows tonight, 65 out of Chattanooga. That's 3 degrees still above average for our forecast lows, what we typically see for September 19th. Now, average high for the first day of fall is 81 degrees. We're not going to see that. As far as tomorrow even, it's still going to be rather warm and humid. Tomorrow, as the kids are headed out on the bus stop, 7 a.m., watch for some patchy fog, 67 degrees. At 3 o'clock, there is a rain chance tomorrow during the day. It's between noon and 6 p.m. Isolated, though. Those, I think, east of I-75 are going to be dry. That includes Blue Ridge, Athens area. I think you're going to be dry tomorrow, but Monteagle, you'll have to keep an eye on some showers you'll be dodging tomorrow afternoon. All right, here's the newest Vipercast, which shows out of Altamont that rain beginning at noon. Keep in mind those reds and oranges that we see. That means it could be a little bit on the heavy side. Not ruling out some lightning with this out of the Altamont area. Nothing organized, though, is expected tomorrow afternoon and evening. So nothing severe, certainly nothing we can't handle. But for the evening commute, there might be a few showers still lingering in our western half. And then once we lose the heating of the day tomorrow, we'll have a mostly clear sky tomorrow night. Winds will continue to remain on the light side. So Wednesday morning, we'll still have to keep an eye on possibly some fog again. By Wednesday afternoon, there's probably going to be some showers ongoing, especially for the Walden Ridge area. So very small, just a 20% chance for showers Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And you can see rainfall amounts for tomorrow, not very impressive for many of us. Chattanooga, just a few hundredths of an inch of rain. Altamont up to half an inch of rain for tomorrow as well. So looking good as far as our rain chance goes tomorrow. The newest 7-day then, I do want to show you this. We're tracking warm temperatures all the way through the 1st of October. So the upcoming weekend, it's still going to be warm and humid. We only have a 20% chance for rain on Saturday and Sunday and for Friday as well. And that will probably change a couple of times from now until then. So you want to check back with us during each of our newscasts. But Saturday and Sunday still look warm. I've actually bumped us up to 87 degrees on Sunday. I am not ruling out a 90-degree day for the middle part of the week. So Wednesday, Thursday, we could be hitting 90s. And you know, I looked over the past 3 years, the last time we saw actual fall-like temperatures on the first day of fall was 2014. Oh, wow. So last year we were at 93 degrees for September 22nd, 85 the year before, and we were in the upper 70s in 2014. So it's been 3 years since we've actually seen fall-like weather on fall.
It's funny how quickly I forget, because you could have said, oh, 1952, and I went, oh, I bet that's right. But no, it was just 3 years ago that we actually felt fall temperatures on the first day of fall. Crazy.
But 2 weeks ago, it was cold, downright cold.
And I'm really not seeing a nice cold snap until possibly the 2nd or 3rd of October. Okay. So warm weather's here for a while.
Yeah. Brittany, thank you. Okay. And we will be back with more in just a moment.
Put a thing about rocks, and they painted them.
Today's adoptable child is a 14-year-old who needs an attentive and structured home. His name is Jacob Hunter, but he prefers to go by his middle name, Hunter. He's a kind and friendly young man and loves art.
Facebook put out a thing about rocks, and they painted them and put them out places.
Appropriately, the first thing that caught Hunter's eye at Coolidge Park was a painted rock. It was right by the flagpole.
I was thinking I could go get that, paint another one.
Hunter knew immediately what he wanted to do.
So it says you can either just leave it here, or if you take it, they ask that you go paint another one,
Yes,
right?
and hide it.
And then hide it.
Hunter loves being outdoors and taking part in almost any activity. He loves to fish and play sports and always prefers the outdoors over television and video games. Hunter would do well in a two-parent family that's willing to meet him where he is, both emotionally and developmentally. He also needs parents who can be structured and firm, as well as patient and understanding. Hunter truly wants to be adopted and would love to have brothers and sisters and...
Do you want them to have pets?
Yes.
What kind?
Dogs, cats, horses.
If you're considering adoption, take a minute or two to explore what it takes to be an adoptive parent. We have some resource numbers posted on our website.
Well, depending on what kind of Monday you've had, you may already be thinking about the weekend, huh?
We do that a lot around here, don't we?
Yes, we do. Think about what the weather is going to be like as Brittany joins us here. And I'm told I'm going to tell you something else first, though.
Okay.
So let me try this. More than 10% of people are impacted by chronic kidney disease, and millions die each year because they don't have access to affordable treatment.
On Saturday night, an important night, the Kidney Foundation is hosting its biggest fundraiser of the year, Dare to Dance, to help local patients. Today, a Chattanooga man is sharing his story of survival with Lori Mitchell to bring awareness to the disease.
If you dine at Puckett's in downtown Chattanooga, you've probably been greeted by Foster Yates's friendly smile.
Well, we're glad to have you here in Chattanooga.
He's a manager at the restaurant and an inspiration to those who meet him.
There's a totally different way I look at life now, you know. I make each day that I live to the fullest.
Yates was diagnosed with diabetes when he was a young boy. Years later, a trip to the hospital revealed another medical condition.
I got real sick. I went to the emergency room, and one of the ER doctors came in and said, "Hey, has anyone ever talked to you about your kidneys?" And I said, "No, not really." And they said, "Well, you're at about 30% functioning right now, so we might want to take a look at that."
Yates's health continued to decline. At 34, he started dialysis and was unable to work.
You look at life a totally different way. You know, when doctors tell you, you know, you got 10 to 12 months to live, you know, unless you find a donor. It's very hard to take that in.
His prayers were answered when a longtime friend living out of state volunteered to donate a kidney and turned out to be a perfect match. In September of last year, Yates had a kidney transplant.
Chris Colhane, my donor, you know, saved my life.
He says the surgery changed his outlook and taught him an important lesson about not taking life for granted.
Was Lori Mitchell with the story tonight. Puckett's is hosting a Give Back Night for the Kidney Foundation of Chattanooga. You can stop by the restaurant to eat, drink, and listen to live music, and a portion of the sales will help local kidney patients. Foster Yates will also be there sharing his story.
Dare to Dance is this Saturday at the Chattanooga Convention Center. The event features local celebrities paired with professional dancers, including one of our own. That's Channel 3's Lori Mitchell. She's dusting off her dancing shoes, learning some new moves for the competition. This is the 10th anniversary year of Dare to Dance. All proceeds from the fundraiser support the Kidney Foundation of Greater Chattanooga.
Can't wait to see Lori. Patrick Sherrock will be laid to rest tomorrow. Friends and family gathered today to remember the life and legacy. He died at his home on Friday. We've followed Patrick for many years as he bravely battled brittle bone disease. He and his family were featured on an episode of Extreme Makeover Home Edition in 2011. Patrick was active in raising funds and awareness for Whitfield County's Miracle League baseball field and for children with disabilities. For some, walking the halls of Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe High School will never be the same. Patrick was a student who taught everyone important lessons about life. He will be laid to rest tomorrow.
And some of that video was just perfect if you don't remember Patrick, because he was a shining light, always making a joke and making everyone else smile.
He almost always had a joke for you.
Absolutely.
When you saw him. I love that. Now, we want to check in with meteorologist Brittany Beggs.
That's right. I made her dance over to the desk a moment ago because she was in a hurry to get here, but we sent her over to the wall this time to catch her breath. How about it, Brittany?
Yeah, it's a busy evening over here. All right, here's a look from our East Fannin Elementary camera. We have a gorgeous evening in progress here. A couple of mid-level clouds out there, but temperatures are rather warm. We're still in the 80s in many locations, and I think that's going to be the trend for at least us in the Scenic City through 9 o'clock. So we're still at 87 degrees with an east-northeast wind of 5 miles an hour. 81 coming in from Murphy and for Blue Ridge. And our sky watchers have reported. Still getting those reports in. We do appreciate those. We made it to 88 here in the Scenic City. Red Bank 89. Lookout Mountain 82 degrees. Ringgold, Johnny, he's reported 81. We made it to 88 in Delano and Riceville 86. So it was a warm afternoon. Tomorrow, we'll kind of have a copy and paste. However, we've got a little bit more rain to tell you about. It's after the lunch hour. We'll keep an eye on some showers you might be dodging. So grab the umbrella if you live especially west of I-75 tomorrow. A little bit of fog to tell you about in the morning. So dew points continue to remain high. The dew point tells us how much moisture is in the atmosphere. So we'll have some fog patchy tomorrow morning. I think many of us are going to be dry at noon, but by 3 o'clock we will be dodging a few showers. Not ruling out some lightning though either. So on our satellite and radar, you can see we're quiet. We have this next kind of boundary to our west, slowly pushing eastward. As it does, once it reaches the Walden Ridge area tomorrow afternoon, it kind of dissipates. It kind of washes out. So for those east, I think Murphy, Cleveland, Athens, you're not going to have to worry about any rain tomorrow, but it is going to be closer to Pikeville, Dunlap, Tullahoma, also near Winchester, and we can break this down. So as far as our rain chances, those west, you've got the better chance tomorrow. All right, now this is preliminary. We're always looking ahead to the weekend. Friday, we'll have to keep an eye on some rain chances during the day. What I'm seeing right now is from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Friday. There could be some rain develop, so you don't want to get the WRCB weather app, especially for high school football going on. For the upcoming weekend, only 20% chances. In fact, I think we might remove that 20% for Sunday. Average high for Saturday is 81 degrees, and we're putting us at 85, and Sunday 87. So an average high is 80. So we're going to be about 7 degrees above average on Sunday. This is the trend for next week as well. Not a lot of rain to work with. Of course, we're going to be keeping an eye on the tropics as well. So here's another look at our rain chance for tomorrow as well from noon to 6 o'clock. It's for the counties in green there. All right, so right now we're at 87 degrees. We'll hop off here and put up the 7-day. Let's get off here. There we go. All right, 7-day forecast then. We're going to be close to 90 as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. Hot and humid, that's the pattern. And then first week of October, that's when we'll start to see our next cold front move through. So it's warm. It's here, and as we mentioned, past 3 years we've been warm. So Friday, unfortunately, it's still going to be feeling like summer. So those that like those temperatures, they're here for at least the next 2 weeks.
Thank you, Brett. Okay. And now, sports is next.
Here's Paul Shaheen.
We all hurt, we're angry, we're pissed, all of the above.
Angry, like a fan screaming at a television to run the ball. Angry like how John Kelly ran when given the chance. By the way, John Kelly averaged 7.3 yards a carry against Florida. His 349 yards right now leads the SEC. Yet the Vols ran 7 game-defining plays inside the Florida 10, 3 of which were on the goal line. Not once did they run the ball. All 7 of those plays inside the 10 were passing plays. All 7. 5 of them fell incomplete. 1 was intercepted. Head coach Butch Jones said today their first and goal from the 1 in the third quarter, which would have given them the lead, started as a run play. But he did not say who changed the play at the line of scrimmage. The drive ended with a goal line interception. As for the final play, Jones never really clarified why they were in a nickel defensive package instead of a dime defense, which allows one extra defensive back. But after watching the film, here's how he saw it.
They had one timeout left. There was 9 seconds to go in the game, and they have a very, very talented field goal kicker. And we knew what they were going to do. They were going to try to get the ball in the middle of the field, throw a dig route, call timeout, try to attempt a game-winning field goal. Where the play broke down is we let the quarterback escape the pocket, and we wanted to be in a 4-man rush so we could contain the quarterback. There was a backside player that had a runoff, and when the quarterback escapes the pocket and can set his feet, anything can happen.
That loss dropped Tennessee outside of the top 25. In Tuscaloosa, the Tide stays put at number 1. Alabama beat Colorado State by 18, but giving up 23 points to the Rams didn't sit well with Alabama's defense. After the game, linebacker Sean Dion Hamilton said it's time for the defense to have a players-only, quote, come to Jesus meeting.
What is your philosophy on player-only meetings? Do you go to the leaders of the defense and maybe encourage that, or do you leave it to them?
No, I think it's really up to the players, but I also think that, every player's got to look at what they have to do to try to improve and get better. Really, for 3 quarters in the game, we played pretty well against a pretty good offensive team. We just didn't finish the game like we needed to. I don't think anybody needs to be panicking, and I think the leadership on the team is making an attempt to affect other players, maybe to prepare a little bit better, eliminate some of the mental errors.
Alabama opens SEC play on the road this Saturday with Vanderbilt. The Doors are 3-0 right now and fresh off a 7-point win over 18th-ranked Kansas State. Vanderbilt is not ranked inside the AP Top 25. However, Nick Saban said they should be. Meanwhile, in Athens, the Georgia Bulldogs are steadily climbing the rankings, now knocking on the top 10 door. The Dogs did what they should have done to Samford. They're up 2 spots to number 11 now. More good news in Athens. Injured quarterback Jacob Eason was back at practice today in pads and throwing footballs. The media viewing period was short, but Eason was seen throwing, taking snaps, and dropping back slowly. Eason is wearing a large brace on that left knee, which he sprained in the season opener. No telling, though, when he will be game ready. Get online and vote for our game of the week as well.
All right, that's right. You'll let us know tomorrow night.
Tuesday, 11,
All
yes.
right. All right. And now, one more time, we're going to check in with you.
Yeah, so as far as rain chances tomorrow, kind of hit and miss from noon until 6 o'clock. Right now, we're at 87 here in the Scenic City. It's a warm evening. We're in the 80s through 9 o'clock. We'll have a mostly clear sky. Coming up at 11, I'll be back with any new information regarding the tropics.
All right. We'll see you at 11.
Have a good night. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's see. All right. So this is like a fast cast